We're all going to have hard days in our homeschool, right? Let's talk about 3 common temptations that can really throw us off course. Welcome back to Juicebox Homeschool. I am a mom of 3. We're homeschooling a 3rd, 6th, and 9th grader this year, and it's my 10th year of homeschooling. I love sharing about homeschooling and encouraging moms in the thick of it. So if you're interested in homeschooling elementary, middle, or high school, hang out with us. Parenting alone is a lot of work, right? Parenting well is even more work, and add homeschooling on top of that, and you are just spent. But there are some things we can do to make the path smoother. And so I want to talk about 3 common temptations for every homeschool mom. And I think this applies to all stages. I'm in my 10th year and these 3 totally apply to me. And if I put myself back into the early years of homeschooling, it applies to me too. The first temptation is fear. I have doubts and temptations on a daily basis of, am I making the right choice? If you're a mom of high schoolers and you have peers with children in the same age, jump into a conversation with them and you'll soon be talking about how to build your high schooler's resume, how to make them attractive to certain colleges, the volunteer hours, the leadership roles, the school they should be attending to get into X, Y, and Z, the AP test, the SAT, the ACT, all the things they should be doing to ensure a path to a version of success. So there's this fear of missing out on whatever the world values, whatever they say teenagers should be doing and seeing and experiencing. The same can go with little ones. If you're homeschooling in the early years of like 1st and 2nd grade, you could be fearing missing giving them what you experienced in public school. And whatever your school choice is personal, and there's reasons for that. I see value in all of the choices we have for education. But just for today, I'm particularly talking about homeschooling. And a common fear is that you're taking away an opportunity for maybe socialization. Maybe you're worried that they will not learn social skills or conflict resolution or just the experience of being in that public school setting that maybe you have experienced. I've had those same fears when my kids were young, and a fear that I struggle with currently is for my older kids, am I taking away any opportunities that they might want tomorrow? I don't know. And there's just so much uncertainty in that. In any situation you're in any educational choice you make, you'll have those same fears. It's not just for homeschoolers, but the fear is a common temptation for homeschoolers that can take you off course quick. For me, I need to lean into the Lord's calling on our family and His faithfulness, how He has provided for us, how He's led our family in this direction of homeschooling, and how He's opened many doors so that we can stay on this path. And leaning into the faithfulness, leaning into the fruit that we've seen in these seasons of witnessing so much growth and overcoming obstacles and challenges for my children and for us as parents has been an incredible source of strength to combat the temptation to fear. The second temptation is our phones, and for me this is a big challenge because I work part-time in social media. I share homeschool things on social media. My husband's work is also in social media, so there's a lot of work-related phone usage. But during the homeschool day, it is the most counterproductive thing. Can I say it again? It is the most counterproductive thing to have your phone attached to during the homeschool day. That's why I very rarely share anything in real time. Whatever I share usually happened the day before. If I ever share a day in the life, it's usually on a prior day because there's no way I can manage both and do it well. Also, you know how frustrating it is if you're like having dinner with a friend and they're on their phone and you're talking to them and they're kind of like, oh yeah. That's annoying, right? So you can imagine how it is for a child who may be struggling with math already, doesn't want to do it, but also doesn't have your attention and help. So what I've found helpful is during the times of concentrated school time, turning your phone around, setting it aside in the other room, or turning the sound off are our most productive days. I can't do that every day, but on the days that I do, it is our most productive days and moods are better. I think just putting myself in my children's shoes helps a lot because I can imagine how it would be, how frustrating that would be when they also want to complete school in a timely fashion and I'm just like half there, half not, half in, half out. It's taxing on their enthusiasm and motivation for their own schoolwork. So the temptations we've talked about are fear and phones. And the third temptation is forgoing. And really that's quitting, but I just wanted to keep it with the F sounds. So quitting too soon. Quitting is a huge temptation of homeschooling because public-private school is so common and so much part of the culture or the majority, it's really easy to constantly doubt if you're doing the right thing. And not just within yourself, but within your family, within your friends, your peers, your circle of influence. You've probably received a lot of like, oh, why? You know, the school district is so great around here. Or almost as if you owe an explanation as to why you chose to homeschool. It just kind of comes with the territory, as if it's not hard enough. But when it gets hard, there is a temptation to quit. And you might already be feeling the doubt from others and within yourself. And I think when it's a hard day, and there will be hard days, the idea of not having to deal with it, not having to deal with your child, not having to work through conflict and relational things just sounds easier, and I get that. But the way that I try to combat that is remind myself that no matter what educational choice we make, we're going to have to deal with the same issues. We're going to have to deal with the same person, the same sinner here, the same sinner there, and we would lose the benefit of time. We would lose the benefit of having time in our day to work it out and to allow the Spirit to do its work of sanctification. There's time to have meaningful discussions, hard discussions, but also resolve things. There's also something on the other side of that learning gap or that conflict or that struggle, and you don't want to miss it. The work that you're putting in today on those hard days pays off in the end. You get to experience the fruit of that, and that has been worth sticking with it. In all ways, I can say this without a doubt, it is worth it. The relationships formed, the trust built, the experiences had, you're preparing them for important future relationships. Now, there are situations that are completely understandable, usually things out of your control where you have to forego homeschooling, and that could be the Lord's plan, where it's a season where you need to let it go. I'm just talking about the normal hard days that will come inevitably, that are very taxing and at times unbearable. Those are the days that I want to encourage you to persevere. Don't miss out on what's on the other side of that hard day. So I hope you were encouraged by this. I just wanted to share my heart because I have experienced many hard days where I have been tempted to quit, and I've also experienced incomparable, I will never regret persevering type of days. So let's be diligent about fighting against these temptations in our homeschool day: fear, phone, and forgoing. Leave a comment if you're encouraged by today's video, and I will link another one here that might be helpful. Thank you guys so much for being here.